Hello Windsor, this is Jess Kramer and welcome to the 30.ca's one-on-one interview segment. Today I'm speaking with Professor Douglas Kneale. He will be replacing Bob Orr on March 1st as the University of Windsor's acting provost. Hello Douglas, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, thanks for coming out here. So, as an active student, I talk to my peers a lot about my interviews and I realize that not a lot of students know what a provost is. So could you just explain to us what a provost does?
Sure. The provost is the senior academic officer in a university. And the word provost, it goes back quite a ways. It's derived for the Latin for someone who is placed at the head. It means someone who supervises. So the provost and vice president academic is responsible for virtually all aspects of academic administration and planning, student recruitment, the library, IT, all those kinds of things. The provost reports to the president and works with the other VPs and the deans, the registrar, the librarian, and so on. So it's a fairly comprehensive portfolio.
All right, so what qualifications do you have, or what qualifies you for the position as a provost?
I think the qualifications for this kind of job begin a long way back. So let me give you a bit of my history. When I started at university, I was Dean's Honors List in science. My highest mark was engineering math. And I ended up doing my PhD in English. So what happened? There's a change in direction. I went on to do my PhD at the University of Toronto. I did a postdoctoral fellowship at Yale. I came back to my undergraduate institution, the University of Western Ontario, as it was then called, and began as a junior professor and climbed the ranks. I've written 2 books and edited a 3rd. I was fortunate to receive Western's highest award for excellence in teaching. And then I went into administration. And so I became chair of the Department of English at the University of Western Ontario. And I was there for 25 years before becoming Dean of the Faculty of Humanities at Brock University, which is where I am right now. So I'm just completing my 5th year as Dean of Humanities at Brock. And again, this opportunity has come up here at the University of Windsor to come on board as of March 1st as the next provost. So I don't know whether that explains qualifications or not, but that's a kind of recap of my resume.
So you mentioned that you worked in humanities at Brock, and I know Brock has been going through a lot of expansion, innovations, and their international student center and things like that. What kind of innovations have you been involved in there and at other schools to help?
Great question. There are a lot of similarities between the University of Windsor and Brock, and I think that's one thing that attracted me to this opportunity here at Windsor. I suppose my priority for the last 5 years has been building a School of Creative Arts downtown. And now I get to do it all over again here at Windsor. A slightly different project. It was our School of Fine and Performing Arts at Brock. So it was dramatic arts and music and visual arts. And we took over an old factory in the heart of downtown St. Catharines and converted it into 95,000 square feet of new space for our majors in those programs. So here in Windsor, we're doing something similar with the School of Creative Arts and also social work and the Center for Executive and Professional Education. So that was one thing I worked on. I've done an awful lot with student recruitment and liaison. I love it. I remember as an undergraduate, I was my last year of university, I was a campus tour guide, and that was my first exposure, I think, to recruitment and liaison. And I've been doing it ever since, and I still do it as dean. In fact, I met is he the president of the Student Alliance here? Ronnie, is it? Just met him today, and I said, sign me up. Let's do a session on careers for students, not least students in the humanities. Be happy to be one of your speakers. I did a lot of curriculum development. Of course, I didn't do it myself. It's all part of a team. We introduced our first PhD program in humanities, a PhD in interdisciplinary humanities. We began a new master's program with the University at Buffalo in Canadian American Studies. We're just waiting for final Ministry of Training Colleges and Universities approval for a very interesting program, actually a couple of programs, in interactive game design and game development. And that's very cool because it's the Faculty of Humanities at Brock, the Faculty of Math and Science, also at Brock, and then Niagara College in Niagara. So Brock students will be taking courses at Brock University, but also at Niagara College. And so there's a whole lot of sort of interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary stuff going on.
Yeah, and here at the University of Windsor, we're also trying to get interdisciplinary studies with other universities as well. It's part of our SMA with Ontario. What can you do, or what do you think you can do to help us reach our goal?
The SMA, or Strategic Mandate Agreement with the province of Ontario, the process is evolving. We just did the first iteration of our SMA, speaking now of Windsor, and signed off on it just this past year. And that is supposed to take us to 2017. But already we're beginning to have conversations, and indeed in the board retreat today, we were broaching some of these things in a preliminary way. We're asking ourselves just a bunch of questions. Who are we? Who do we want to be? What are our strengths as the University of Windsor? What are our gifts? What are we doing well that we should continue to do? What are we not doing well that we might want to reassess? What are we not yet doing at all that we should think about doing? I know that for the first iteration, there was a great deal of consultation with students, staff, faculty, the Senate, the Board of Governors, and the next iteration will be the same, SMA 2.0.
All right. One of the things on the SMA was the expansion of moving our campus downtown, the Social Sciences and Arts, I believe, department. Was there any talk about that? Because I know they're behind from the previous mandate. They want it to be completed by 2015.
I don't know the details of the timelines yet. Once I hit the ground running in March, I'll be happy to come back and talk to you again about that. I certainly know it's underway. Unlike the project I was describing in St. Catharines, this is a cluster, a creative cluster of buildings and venues. So the former Windsor Star building, the armories, the Tunnel Barbecue restaurant, and so on. It's going to create and indeed transform, I think, the city core.
One of the things you also talked about in your previous jobs and positions is recruitment, and I mean it's a fact that enrollment's down in Ontario and universities, and especially here in Windsor, I think our enrollment dropped about 5% just from last year. So how do you think you can help bring enrollment back or deal with that issue?
It's a good question. I think we have to look at the bigger picture and take a long-term view. It's true that the numbers are down in some areas, but then they're up in others. For example, our confirmations for fall 2015 are up year over year. Applications to engineering are up. Applications to science are up. International applications are looking good as well. I think some of the numbers in arts, humanities, and social sciences, and this is part of a provincial and national and indeed continental, it's all part of a trend within North America. Some of that can be explained by the massive changes going on with faculties of education, moving from a one-year program to a two-year program, and enrollments being cut virtually in half. And I think the teachable subjects that students in education take, those are by and large in humanities and social sciences. So I think they're getting sideswiped to a certain extent by the changes going on elsewhere in education. It's also part of the trend that the demographers have been telling us for some years, that the population of 18 to 20-year-olds has been declining for some time and will continue to decline. We know that. And we're looking at other ways to offset that. As I mentioned, with certain areas in the university that are growing, we want to encourage that and foster it. And I think if we take the longer term view and stay the course, I think we'll be fine. One thing that the University of Windsor has in its favor is a terrific team of people on recruitment and liaison. And they're doing everything they can to convert those applications into registered students.
So hopefully you'll be here with us for quite a few years. Where do you expect to see Windsor, or see out of Windsor, in the next decade, by 2025?
Wow, next decade. I would like to see the basics, the fundamentals in place. I want to see our students, graduate, undergraduate, professional, having an exceptional educational experience. I want to see our faculty members thriving, flourishing in their teaching and research, receiving recognition and support for the extraordinary things they do. I want to see our staff feeling that their contributions are valued, that what they do, whether it's at the front counter or in the back office, they are a crucial part of our success, a crucial part of our students' success, not least. I want to see harmonious labor relations on campus with all units. I want to see that downtown project transforming the city core. I mean, basically, I want the University of Windsor, you said 10 years from now, to be known not just as Canada's certainly, but not just Canada's, to be known as North America's gateway university. There's enormous potential here.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us. That was a great answer.
Yeah,
nice.
Nice meeting.
Thanks for meeting with us.
We'll do this again.
All right, well, thanks for joining us for this one-on-one interview. You can check out more on our website, the30.ca. Until next time, Windsor, stay cool.